The National Guard, a unique dual-purpose force with both state and federal responsibilities, has played a critical role in domestic disaster response for over a century. Established as a militia for the colonies and then formalized under state and federal law, the Guard is called upon during times of emergency to protect and serve the American people. In the wake of a hurricane, the National Guard is often among the first on the scene, providing critical support that ranges from search and rescue operations to distributing supplies and restoring order. Their rapid deployment capabilities, combined with local knowledge and extensive training in emergency management, make them an indispensable part of the national response infrastructure. Today, we're diving into specific instances where the National Guard's intervention was not just helpful but heroic. In October 2018, Hurricane Michael unleashed its Category 5 fury upon the Florida Panhandle, marking it as one of the most intense hurricanes to ever strike the area. Winds surpassed 160 miles per hour, devastating communities like Mexico Beach and leaving a trail of destruction that required an immediate and robust response. Amidst the chaos, the Florida National Guard was activated, with over 3,500 troops deployed swiftly to the hardest-hit regions. Their mission was critical to conduct search and rescue operations, clear debris and restore normalcy to the countless lives disrupted by the storm. Navigating through debris-filled waters in torrential weather conditions, one National Guard unit stumbled upon a family trapped in their home and surrounded by quickly rising floodwaters. Swooping into action, the unit was able to get the family airlifted to safety, a tale they repeated dozens, if not hundreds of times across the Panhandle region of Florida. Following the rescue efforts, the National Guard's role expanded to include distributing essential supplies like food, water, and medicine. Troops remained in the impacted communities for months. From repairing infrastructure to supporting local authorities, they were crucial to the long-term recovery process. The story of the National Guard's response to Hurricane Michael is a powerful testament to their role as a force of stability and aid in times of disaster. Their actions not only saved lives but also helped start the process of rebuilding shattered communities, reinforcing their vital presence in disaster response. On August 24, 1992, Hurricane Andrew struck Florida, leaving a path of destruction like few had seen before. The Category 5 hurricane devastated southern Florida, particularly affecting Homestead and the surrounding areas. With winds up to 165 miles per hour, Andrew destroyed over 25,000 homes and damaged 100,000 more, leaving 250,000 people homeless and causing billions in damage. The Florida National Guard was deployed immediately with 6,000 troops initially mobilized. Their mission was expansive, conducting search and rescue operations, setting up field hospitals, and providing essential supplies like water and food to displaced residents. They set up over 100 distribution points across South Florida, ensuring that tens of thousands of people received daily rations of food, water, and medical supplies. They also worked alongside FEMA to erect tent cities for displaced residents, providing shelter for thousands who had lost their homes. Amidst the widespread damage, the National Guard's presence provided crucial support to devastated communities. They were instrumental in clearing debris from roadways, allowing emergency vehicles and aid workers to access the hardest-hit areas. In one instance, they were able to clear an entire town's streets within 48 hours, making it possible for medical teams to reach stranded residents. Beyond the physical recovery efforts, the presence of the National Guard provided much-needed security in devastated neighborhoods where looting and crime became immediate concerns in the wake of the disaster. Their swift and comprehensive response not only saved lives, but also laid the foundation for the recovery efforts that followed. To this day, many credit the National Guard as being critical to our nation recovering from Hurricane Andrew. Hurricane Sandy struck in October 2012, unleashing a devastating impact on the northeastern United States, particularly New Jersey and New York. As towns submerged and millions lost power, the National Guard launched a massive response to aid those affected by the storm. Over 9,100 troops were mobilized across 12 states, engaging in critical search and rescue operations, clearing debris and restoring essential services. Their swift actions saved countless lives and provided much-needed hope amidst the chaos. The Guard's efforts were not just about recovery. They included transporting essential repair vehicles to rebuild electrical grids, providing security and shelter, and even engaging in door-to-door operations to ensure the safety and well-being of citizens. In the heart of the storm, the Guard's presence was particularly notable, where the largest contingents were deployed. Their actions were a testament to the resilience and readiness of the National Guard during times of severe crisis, embodying the spirit of service and sacrifice. The National Guard's involvement in Hurricane Sandy's aftermath highlighted their indispensable role in disaster response, showcasing their ability to operate under extreme conditions and manage multiple aspects of emergency situations. Their commitment helped stabilize regions, kickstart recovery processes, and restore normalcy to countless American lives impacted by the storm. In late September 2022, Hurricane Ian struck Florida with devastating force, necessitating a large-scale emergency response. Over 5,000 National Guardsmen from several states, including Florida, Louisiana, New York, Tennessee, Georgia, Indiana, New Jersey, South Carolina, and Virginia, were deployed across central and southwest Florida to assist with the aftermath. The Guard was instrumental in conducting search and rescue operations, navigating the destruction to reach and assist affected communities. Their equipment was crucial to their efforts, including 16 helicopters, 1,640 high-wheeled vehicles for navigating flooded areas, 7 boats, 36 fuel tankers and generators. These resources were vital for clearing roads, conducting search and rescue, and providing support to law enforcement and emergency services. They played a critical role in providing emergency communication capabilities, essential for coordination among first responders and for maintaining communication with affected populations. This comprehensive response underscores the National Guard's critical role in disaster response, demonstrating their capability and preparedness to handle significant emergencies, particularly in hurricane-prone areas. Hurricane Katrina was one of the most devastating natural disasters in U.S. history, but it also led to the National Guard's largest ever domestic relief effort. On August 29, 2005, when Katrina made landfall along the Gulf Coast, it wasn't just the storm's 125 mph winds that caused destruction, but the catastrophic levee failures that followed. These events submerged 80% of New Orleans and devastated communities across Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. From the very start, the National Guard was critical in this response. Over 50,000 Guard members from every state and territory were mobilized, marking this as one of the Guard's finest hours. The Louisiana Guard had prepared before landfall, staging vehicles, aircraft, and supplies, but no one could have predicted the magnitude of what was to come. Once the levees broke, flooding began to overwhelm the city, with 10 to 12 feet of water in some areas within hours. One of the most harrowing aspects of the Guard's response was the scale of rescue operations. They were instrumental in saving lives. Some 30,000 people were rescued from floodwaters during the initial phase, and an additional 29,000 were moved from temporary high-ground shelters to safer locations. Guard units, equipped with helicopters and high-water vehicles, navigated treacherous conditions to rescue citizens trapped in attics and rooftops. These operations were not limited to urban areas, but extended into rural and suburban neighborhoods where many were isolated by flooding. Equally important was the humanitarian role the Guard played in the immediate aftermath. With the city of New Orleans in chaos, Guard members worked tirelessly to distribute food, water, and medical supplies to those stranded in the Superdome and convention centers, both of which had become overcrowded shelters. Security was also paramount, as looting and crime became concerns in the wake of the disaster. What sets the Katrina response apart from other relief efforts was not only its size, but its adaptability. In just 96 hours, an additional 30,000 Guard members arrived to assist with search and rescue, medical treatment, evacuation, and security efforts. They worked alongside FEMA, local authorities, and other military branches to plug broken levees, remove debris, and rebuild vital infrastructure. By the time operations wound down, National Guard members had been on duty for months and in some cases years. The Guard's presence in New Orleans under Task Force Gator lasted over 3 years, providing law enforcement and stability as the city rebuilt itself. Throughout history, the National Guard has proven time and again to be an indispensable force during times of crisis. Whether it's responding to hurricanes like Andrew, Sandy, and Michael, or facing the overwhelming devastation of Hurricane Katrina, the Guard's unique ability to mobilize swiftly and adapt to complex challenges has saved countless lives and provided stability when it's needed most. Were you surprised to learn about the National Guard's role in disaster relief? Leave a comment explaining something else that may surprise people about the role of the National Guard.